Hello children, I welcome you all to this class of mathematics. This is the second class of coordinate geometry. In the last class, we have learned about the very basic ideas of coordinate geometry such as axis, Cartesian system, quadrants, distance of a point from the axis, and coordinates of a point. Let us quickly recall these things. Now students, you may see, if we take the face of this whiteboard as the Cartesian plane, then you may see that this is the x-axis, this horizontal line is the x-axis, this vertical line is the y-axis, and they have intersected at the point O, and we are taking this point as origin. And these two lines, those are called the Cartesian axis. They divided the whole plane into four regions. These are called first quadrant, second quadrant, third quadrant, and fourth quadrant. And you know that all the things in the first quadrants are positive. And in this way, in the last class, we have learned that if a point is given on the plane, then how can we find the distance of this point from x-axis and the distance of the point from y-axis. Now today, let us start this class with some quick exercise. Tell me quadrant axis in which you find these points. 9, minus 3. In which quadrant this point exists? Obviously, you may say that the x component is positive and y component is negative. So, therefore, it is fourth quadrant. Similarly, minus 4.5 and minus 5.1. This is fourth quadrant. And 0,8, this is positive y-axis. 3, minus 7.5, this is fourth quadrant. And 0.2, 5.1, both are positive, therefore this is first quadrant. And 0, minus 20, as the x component is 0, so this is lying on the negative y-axis. Now, so today we are going to discuss about that if the coordinate is given, then how can we plot that point? So in the last class, we have discussed that if a point is given on the Cartesian plane, then how can we say the coordinate of that point? Now, reversely, we have to discuss that if the coordinates are given, how can we plot these points? So, let us take 2, 3. If we take 2, 3, so you know this point. So, if we want to plot this point, how can we plot? That means we have to go 2 units along x-axis. That means 1 unit, then 2 units. Then we have to go 3 units along y-axis. So if we go 3 units along y-axis, then its position is this. Therefore, if we take P as this point, then the coordinate of this point is 2, 3, or P is the point which represent 2, 3. Now if we plot another point 0, 3, if we want to plot the point 0, 3, so this is lying on the x-axis. That means this is x component is 0, that is y component is 3. So if we take this is as Q, then this point is 0, 3. So in this way, if the coordinates are given, very easily we can plot this point. Now let us start a problem. Plot the points P 1, 1, Q 5, 1, S 1, 5. Find the coordinates of a point R such that PQRS forms a square. So we want to plot the point PQS first. Then we have to find out a particular point R such that PQRS will form a square. Let us see how can we do it. So you may see this is the Cartesian plane together with two perpendicular axes. One is x-axis, another is y-axis. So first we have to plot the point P. The coordinates of the point P are 1, 1. That means to plot the point P, we have to go 1 unit along x-axis and 1 unit along y-axis. So therefore the point P represent this way. Again we have to plot the point Q in the same way. The coordinates of Q are 5, 1. Therefore we have to go 5 units along x-axis and 1 unit along y-axis, and this is Q. And about the S, this is 1, 5. Therefore it that represent we have to go 1 unit along x-axis, then 5 unit along y-axis. So this is S. Now we have to search the point S. That we have to search the point R, because P, Q, S are given. Now if you observe this, that what is the length of PQ? You may see that the length of PQ, that means that is the distance, is 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 units. Same way, the distance between P and S is 4 units. That means we have to take a point Q such that all they will form a square. Now if we take the point R here, then you may see that they will form a square. Now if we join all these vertices with a straight line, then we will get PQRS. And if you observe this, then it is producing a square, and the length of the each side of this square is 5 units. And what is the coordinates of the point R? Now you may easily find out that what is the coordinates of R. The coordinates of R are 5, 5. Now it is clear to you that 3, 0 and 0, 3 are not at the same position. So 3, 0 and 0, 3 are at different positions. Same way, you may see that 4, 2 and 2, 4 are also at different positions. So in this way, by taking several such examples, we can say that if x is not equal to y, then the position of yx will differ from the position of xy. So if y is different from x, then yx is not equal with xy. Therefore, xy is called an ordered pair. For this reason, xy we say that is an ordered pair. So the order of x and y is very much important here. Children, if you were given a point on the coordinates plane, then can you find out the coordinates of the reflection of the point about any of the axis? So, if I give you a point, any point, can you find the reflection of that point with respect to x-axis or with respect to y-axis? Let us think. So, already some points are there in our board. So, if the point is 2, 3, if I ask you that what would be the reflection of 2, 3 about y-axis? So, how can we do that? So, first we have to plot the point 2, 3 that is lying on the first quadrant. Now, if we keep one mirror on the y-axis, then what would be the mirror image of this point? By the laws of reflection, which you have learnt in physics, you know that the image of this point will be formed at an equal distance behind the mirror. So, therefore, if you consider the mirror to be on the y-axis, then the image will be formed at, that is the equal distance from y-axis. So, distance of the point P, and this is the image of P dash. Therefore, the distance of the point P from y-axis is equal with the distance of the point P dash from y-axis. Then P dash is the image of the point 2, 3, and the coordinates of P dash are, you may easily find out that we are going 2 units along negative x-axis and 3 units along positive y-axis. Therefore, the coordinates of P dash are minus 2, 3. So, student, can you tell the reflection of the same point about x-axis? Let's see. So, the point P, the distance of this point from x-axis would be same from the reflected image of the point P from the x-axis. So, therefore, if we, the point would be this. Now, you may easily find out the coordinates of the point Q. To find out the coordinates of the Q, you see, we have to go 2 units along positive direction of x-axis and 3 units along the negative direction of the y-axis. Therefore, the coordinates of the Q are 2, minus 3. So, in this way, we can find the reflection of any point with respect to x-axis or y-axis. Now, let us solve another problem. Now, try to find out the reflected image of this figure by finding out the reflection of each of the vertices about y-axis, and then give them a figure. So, ABC is the figure. We want to find out the image of this figure with respect to y-axis first. To get the reflected image of this figure, we have to find out first the reflection of all the 3 vertices with respect to y-axis. That means we need the coordinates of the points A, B, C. Then, so the coordinates of the point A are 1, 1, the coordinates of B are 6, 2, and the coordinates of C are 2, 4. So first we have to find out what are the images of A, B and C with respect to the y-axis. So that you can find out the image of A is P minus 1, 1. The image of B is minus 6, 2. And the image of C is R. Then the coordinates of R is minus 2, 4. Now if we join these points PR, RQ and QP, we will get this triangle. And this triangle represents the image of the triangle ABC with respect to y-axis. Therefore, we can say that the image of ABC with respect to y-axis is the triangle PRQ. Now, I may give you one more assignment. So, before giving to this assignment, I may ask you that what would be the image of this triangle ABC with respect to x-axis. Just now we find the image of ABC with respect to y-axis. Now it would be your assignment that to find out the image of the triangle ABC with respect to x-axis. I think the students, you can easily do it. Okay students, let us solve another problem. If we take the coordinates of any point P as 2, 0 and the another point Q as 4, 0. Now if I ask you to take another point R such that PQR will represent a right triangle, then what you have to do? So therefore, you may see, try to understand the question first. The question is, P and Q are 2 points are already given. These 2 points are P, the coordinates of the P are 2, 0 and the coordinates of the Q are 4, 0. We have to find out another point R such that PQR will form a right triangle. To get this, first we have to plot the points P and Q. So these are very simple. That is, this is lying on the x-axis, both the points. So if we take this is P. So we may take this is P and 4, 0. This is the point 4, 0. We may take Q. Now student, you may say, so this will be one side of the triangle. Now we have to take another point R. So how can we take the R? Will you give a unique point? Try to understand. So to form a right triangle from here, several options we have. So first option, we may think we may take R as this point. The coordinates of R are 4, 2. If you take R as this point, then you can easily see that if we complete this diagram, then we are getting a right triangle. But it is very much clear to you that this R is not unique. Instead of this R, you may take any one point on this line. If you take this line, then you may take any point on this line. If you take R as this, instead of this, if you take r is equal to, what is the coordinates of this point r? 4, 4. Then also we will get, we may erase this, and if we join this by a line, then also we will get a right triangle. Not only that, we may extend this line in the negative direction also. So instead of taking the first quadrant, if we take the point R on the fourth quadrant, then also we will get the our desired result. So anything you may take, we may take here this is as R. So if we join this, then again this is a right triangle. So the coordinates of the point R are 4, -5. So that means any points on this line will serve our purpose. So now I would like to ask another questions upon this. Is there any other possibilities? So if we choose R only on this line, or any other possibilities are there? Yes, you are thinking in a right way, that if we choose R instead of these things, if we choose R here also, that means earlier we make angle Q as the 90 degree. Now we may make angle P as 90 degree. That means if we take R as 2, 3, R as 2, 3, then also if we join this thing, then also we will get a triangle that is right triangle, and the triangle is PQR. Therefore, if you take any point along this line, we will get a right triangle. So here the point R is not unique. We may get several points, or rather we are getting here infinite number of values of R. So if in the questions it has been asked that take any point R, so among all these points you may take any one of these, and you may say that this is R and our triangle PQR is a right triangle. Now let us give you another assignment, that is solve these questions. From this figure, write the following. Number 1, coordinates of B, C and E. You look this diagram. This is the Cartesian plane together with two axes, that is x axis and y axis. Second is the point identified by the coordinates 0, -2. Number 3, the abscissa of the point H. And number 4, the ordinate of the point D. So these are the 4 questions here. Now first questions we may solve, that coordinates of B, C and E. So to find out the coordinates of B, we have to observe that we have to, how much unit we have to go along x-axis, that would be in which directions, and along y units. So these two things are important, that how much units we have to go along x-axis and along y-axis, and what are the directions, that is positive direction of x-axis or negative direction of x-axis, or in the case of y-axis, we have to go along the positive direction of y-axis or negative direction of y-axis. Now, to find out the coordinates of the point B, you see that it is very much clear from this Cartesian plane that we have to go 2 units along x-axis, obviously the positive direction of the x-axis, and simultaneously we have to go 2 units along y-axis, and the direction of the y-axis is negative here. Therefore, the coordinates of the point B are 2, -2. So, one more thing, C is there. What is the coordinates of the point C? To get the coordinates of the C, you see that we have to go 4 units along negative y-axis, then 1 unit along positive x-axis. Therefore, the coordinates of the point C are -4, 1. So, in the same manner, you can find the coordinates of the point E also. Now, rest of the things that would be assigned to you, and I think you can able to do it. So, that's the total thing of the coordinate geometry. Now, we may conclude this class. Thanks to all of you.